Now or never. Okay.
Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for Truth
Wait.
Talk.
I don't know who all's here either, so we're going to take a quick look.
We're going to take a quick look. Obviously, if you got here, you know me. I'm Ravenflower, and I have a guest today by the name of Elandra Nightingale. This is her first YouTube debut, and she has come on to talk some Truth Talk. So let's all support her in the chat. Snap, snaps. And with that, Miss Elandra, take it away.
Well,
Welcome.
I see Honey, Owlet, Moon, and Irish. So hi, my loves. Hi. So I guess we can start with childhood, or like Irish said, I was born.
I was born. I did some borning.
I was born. Well, so to just be really blunt, I was an after-school special, literally. My dad did not think the girl could get pregnant the first time. Hello. So they were very young. My mom, I think she was 15 when she was pregnant with me. And then she turned 16 while pregnant. My dad turned 17, I think. Anyway, I was 3 months old and watched him graduate high school. So
whoa.
Yeah. So my dad's parents, at some point, they basically took me and raised me. They adopted me when I was about 9. And so this is really funny. So by this piece of paper, it makes my dad, my brother, my sister, my niece, and I'm my own aunt. Kind of like that Ray Stevens song of I'm my own grandpa, I'm my own aunt.
Wait a minute. Okay, so my biological mother lost custody of me. My stepdad's parents adopted me, so my mother is legally my sister-in-law.
Yeah, so that's so crazy. So I did.
I get it.
You get it. So
I get it.
And where I'm originally from is this really rural area. And my husband would be like, "Oh, she's from so and so," and everybody's like, "Oh, right. Yeah." It's like, that's not funny anymore. But yeah, so. My birth mother, I was about 5 years old, so I'm a 1980s baby. So 1985, that December, my birth mother, who I called Mama Beth, had another baby. It was a little girl, and her name was Tabitha Nicole. And we're going to fast forward to April of 1986, where my birth mother and my half sister, they both went missing, and I still don't know where they are to this very day. Mm-hmm. That when you think about two people that I knew my mom a little bit, I didn't know a lot. I do remember seeing my sister. My stepbrother at the time, I don't even remember what he looked like. I couldn't tell you anything about him really, but I found out that apparently he was very violent. He apparently also had people that were also part of like the police department to make it like an open shut case.
Yeah.
But I did also find out that she apparently did drugs real bad between the two of us. So there's a lot of things there we're not really 100% sure.
Gotcha.
And yeah. So it could be, I remember being about 8 or 9, realizing, okay, like, Elle, you can think about this all day long, or you can figure out ways to cope with it and deal. Yeah. But it was one of those things that didn't kind of progress till later when I understood more about that. Mm-hmm. But I'm so thankful for my grandparents because they raised me. But I did kind of live out in the sticks. It's like we lived in this town. Literally, you could spit and pass right through. It was crazy.
one light at the corner.
Something like that. Yeah, it was really small. And so I didn't really have neighbors. I didn't really have a lot of friends. And even when I went to school, I was bullied. I was picked on. I had people that, I don't know. I was always the kind person. I was the nice person. And I guess they felt threatened by that. I even sang in the church youth choir, which I love music. And I remember they would pick on me so bad. There was a little cemetery behind the back of the church. Mm-hmm. And I would literally walk the cemetery just to feel at peace, at comfort, at ease. I'm like, I should have known then I was a witch, but we don't realize those things till later. But right. So yeah, it was, and it was little stuff like that, but it was always, I go into this little child mode of what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Why doesn't anybody want to be my friend? Why did I do this? Why did,
Oh, honey.
yeah, it was bad. It was, I didn't understand it. And
Yeah,
just recently I was triggered by some stuff and I didn't fully
yeah.
understand what happened. And I went right back to this lonely little girl. And I was like, I don't ever want to be that lonely little girl ever again. I just wanted to give her a big hug and tell her, yes, it does get better. It wasn't until I think I hit into middle school when I really finally felt like I had
Mhm.
genuine friends, people I could talk to, people, you know, that you just didn't feel isolated anymore. But now, even now, COVID didn't help. Let's be honest, COVID didn't help anybody with that. Um, and even being a stay at home mom, I still sometimes feel very isolated and I feel very, very lonely. And it's like, I just
Mhm.
want to be, it's like, I want adult time and not that way. But you're like, I want to be around adults. I want to go have a
Yeah,
drink. I want, you know, and it's like, it was also hard when you realize, okay, people have a life too. They're working, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's not that they don't like you. It's not that they don't care about you. They just have other shit going on and we just have to, you know, cope
yeah.
with it. But it's really hard, you know, because I really felt like something was wrong with me. I did start
Oh,
taking dance when I was 3 and I
mhm.
stopped when I was 13, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Music was one of my favorite things. And then, so one of my things, I didn't realize how much this was therapy and very comforting for me, was musicals, the old musicals, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Judy Garland, all those types of movies. Those were my therapy in so many ways. And
Mhm.
I used to dream about being like, I want to be like Judy Garland. That's like, that was who I wanted to be like, and had, you know, I had the biggest crush on Gene Kelly because, you know, he could do all these dancing and everything. I loved it. And I was 5 years old when my grandmother took me to see my first play, which was Annie. And it's a very special show to me. And that particular one that you were in is also my favorite version ever. So that. And then back in here 2019, I was a stage manager for Annie Junior version. So
Oh,
it was really
oh
cool.
wow.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun
Well,
and
it's a
everything.
hard knocks life. I mean, for sure.
You know, girl, for real. And of course, you're never fully dressed without a smile.
You aren't.
So yeah,
You aren't.
exactly.
Although I don't know if we could
So,
get away with saying any of that, today, now and today. Don't
oh,
look at somebody to smile. Like,
you have
yeah,
to wear this.
that's a thing.
Right. And so there was a lot of that. And of course, growing up and being raised by my grandparents, it was very much kind of almost like a divorced couple relationship where I go on to my
Mhm,
dad's on the weekends.
mhm.
He used to be a competitive bodybuilder. Uh, let me tell you, I got to appreciate the male physique at a very young age.
Oh boy.
Oh
Oh boy.
yeah, it's like okay. I understand some of this, but I don't fully understand this. But all right,
Ooh.
but because of him, I love muscle cars, and I also love, you know, classic rock. Of course, that's my generation, but you know, but I love like 90s. I also love I mean, huge variety of music. I'm like, don't ever underestimate singing to your hairbrush and listening to the oldies music when you feel like shit. I'm telling you, it'll do wonders for you.
We
Yes.
have to say hello because there's so many
Oh,
people in the chat right now.
hi.
There's like so many people in the
My
chat.
gosh.
Hello, everybody. I
I
mean,
see.
damn near everybody is here.
Hi,
Everybody's
Blue and
here.
Snow. Hi, loves. Oh my gosh. Who else? Summer. I love you, Summer. She is actually an old high school friend.
Oh,
We
hi.
went to high school and we graduated together and we reconnected in April. We had to go
Sue.
to it. We had to take my daughter to Atlanta. My daughter is 9. We call her Ladybug. That's her nickname. And she has an eye that her left eye wants to turn in. So
Okay.
we got a hotel room, and so Summer rode up. I think it was the very next day, and we went to Phoenix and Dragon Bookstore. It was so much fun, and we had a blast. And seriously, it was like no time had passed, and we reconnected.
Mhm,
And let
mhm.
me tell you, there's a
Those are
reason
the
she named.
best. Those are the best
It was
relationships.
so great,
So
and
rewarding.
they're so amazing. I love her to pieces. So, but that is like, and we were talking, we are like, she's like, and you're a witch. I'm like, yeah, I've been one since '98. She's like, girl, we could have been talking about. I was like, dang it, why? know, but I love her. I love her so much. Who
Oh,
else is here that I know? I know that.
she says she loves you too.
Oh, I can see a little bit, but I'm on here. But so back to everything else. So let's see. So again, like I said, things were really rough. My dad is also a narcissist. Raven and I discussed that before. He is very he likes to control, of course. He acts like, oh, I do all this and that, and he really doesn't. It there's a lot I could go into that for hours and hours and hours, but it's rough. Basically, I just never felt like I've been important to him. I felt like I was just like, I'm here. I'll show you off when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And like I told Raven, I asked him to wear, jeans to my wedding. I mean, pants, regular dress slacks to my wedding, and he wore jeans. I told him, please don't wear jeans, and he wore jeans. But thankfully, he at least wore dress pants for my sister's wedding. So I was like, okay, that's good. But at the same time, it was still like,
Yeah, but it's like, why wasn't I important enough for you to, follow those
right,
directions and what was important to
exactly.
me on my day,
Yeah. And
Mhm.
like I said, I could talk about him for hours, but I'm like, you know what? It's just not worth it some days. And I was just like, moving,
But
moving,
that's
moving
the
on.
thing. That's the thing with narcissists. That's what they want you to
Yeah, no,
do.
no, yeah,
So
exactly.
don't give it to them. How
Yeah,
to make a narcissist mad? Ignore them. Ignore them.
pretty much. Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
best thing. So, so high school wasn't bad. I mean, and I actually, so I have some fun stuff there. So I did theater in high school,
Like the
and I did, wait, and Summer can actually vouch this too. So I did 2 shows when I was in high school, and the country singer Luke Bryan was our lead. I did the Robber Bridegroom and then Annie Get Your Gun, and he was our lead in both of those shows.
Oh my
So
gosh.
my only claim to fame, I have performed on stage with Luke Bryan.
Wow.
Wow.
I tried out
So
for Annie Get Your Gun, but then I didn't finish it or whatever, but I ended up in Oklahoma. And you know what? Now it's still like when I'm spelling the state's name, I have to sing it. Okay.
uh, yes, yes. Right.
Yo.
So when I did Annie Get Your Gun, I was one of Buffalo Bill's Wild West dancers.
Ooh.
I know, I was a little cowgirl dancer back in my skinnier days. It's
Sorry.
okay.
That flip. The little cracking me up.
Good, good. I mean, seriously, I mean, I know a lot of.
This is totally a theater girl. I love it. You and I
The
can talk
thing.
theater a long time. I mean, I
Yes,
never felt better that when I was in the theater, I could be somebody else,
it
and
is so
my
great,
shitty
and
life
that
didn't matter.
I the local theater I got back involved in 2010, and it is
Mhm.
my therapy. If I'm not doing something with the theater, I'm like, forget it. But I finally just finished my 4th show actually on stage. Usually, I mean, I can run lights, run sound, stage manage, hair, makeup, move sets. I know a lot. I can do a lot.
Mhm.
I have co-directed. I've actually directed. You know, I don't know where all that's supposed to go, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But but it is very therapeutic for me, and it is a great way to escape and leave your worries on the doorstep, so to speak,
Yeah.
and just become somebody else, and it is very helpful.
You
So
kind of work through it. You can work through. You can attach yourself or your yes, you can attach
yeah,
yourself to a character that might
right,
resonate close to you and work through your trauma
yes,
through
it
that
does.
character, and nobody knows the wiser. They just think you're a really good actress.
Right. There's only one time I had no, 2 times I had speaking lines in a couple of shows, but the other time it's ensemble. Never knock ensemble people. You're just as important. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But
sure.
but yeah, we could totally talk about that for hours. But I met my husband in June of '99, and no, it was actually a little before that. That's when we started dating, June 4th of '99. July 4th of 1999, I was in the hospital with meningitis, dying.
Mm.
I had the bacterial kind. Basically, anybody can
Oh my
have
God,
it.
that is hell.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
it It's like anybody can have it, anybody can carry it. Your immune system can be low, they can sneeze, they can cough, and you
Mhm.
instantly get it. And I remember I had what they called, um, I think they call it a spider IV or something.
Yep.
It has like different, so they could give you medicine, draw blood, and whatever other else through that. I had a tube.
Mhm.
I remember when they went to put the tube down my throat, I threw it up. They had to put another one down me. I was connected to so many machines. And I remember my nurse that was there, my dad. Okay, so my dad was apparently,
Breathe,
I
you're
know,
good. I'm here. I'm here. It's okay.
we're good. So apparently he was actually talking to me about dying. And the nurse's name was Kelly, and he was freaking amazing. Let me just say that. He came in, realized what was happening, and like trying to calm me down. He walked out and talked to my husband. He says, I cannot believe that he's in there talking to her about this, you know. But at first, he also didn't want to care for me. He says, because everybody I've seen that's had meningitis comes out in a body bag. Oh, I love you, Blue Knight. You're so sweet. Um, he says, everybody comes out in a body bag. And he says, I don't want to tend to her. But he did it anyway.
Wow.
And he was phenomenal. So the second night he was there, he was great. And they'd even call my husband. No, we were just dating then. So he was my fiance. They would call him. He would come up at like 1 a.m. and come and sleep with me. They knocked my ass out on Demerol. That's some great stuff. It's really okay until you start tripping out. They had rolled me over for something. I remember they also did the spinal tap. Hold on. So they rolled me over, and y'all, listen. You know that the walls are this beige color. All of a sudden, it literally took a shape of this 3D Oriental dragon. It was literally moving around the room, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want.
Laughing. I'm laughing because I'm over here like I just had my surgery experience. I don't know if you guys
Right.
watched that video of me, and it's just like I'm going through the thing and I'm like, oh, I'm ready. I got my A1C test and I did the thing and I passed and I'm gonna go to the surgeon, and then you see me after surgery and I don't know what possessed me to get on that camera. I I was on Dilaudid. I was on
I
Dilaudid.
know.
So I am just like, whoa. I'm like
Yeah.
feeling it.
It.
But I'm
It
giving
also,
you witchy tips. What is wrong with me? Just like high as a
absolutely.
damn kite. High.
Well, it would also give me like some really freaky like dreams too.
Yeah.
They were very, very. But after that, I was like, I don't want
Mhm.
any more. I think I'm finished now. Thank
I
you
think
very
I'm
much.
good.
But I do
Yeah.
remember when it first started and everything can happen. I just remember being there like, I don't want to die. I do not want to die. I want to live. I have a wedding to plan. I have a little sister to be here for. I have family I don't know and I have not met yet. Y'all, I think I prayed to anybody, everybody, and probably made up a few in the process. Not joking. I wasn't going to knock anything, and I'd seen the craft. I said, well, we'll just pray to Manah too. So I was just like, I didn't care at that point. I was like, I just did not want to die. I didn't want to die,
Yeah.
and so I was in
There's
the
something
ICU.
primal that kicks in. There's something primal. I've been on death's doorstep a couple of different
I
times,
don't know.
and in sort of in the same way, in a hospital bed. And I
Yeah,
remember when you were down, all I could think of was how I was feeling and so alone, and nobody can be in there with me. And I
yeah,
was messaging you, and that's how you and I connected, because I know how that feels. But there is something primal that kicks in. It's just
there is.
like, I don't want to die today. This is
Yeah,
not my day.
it
And
was
something
like,
taps you on the shoulder. It says, fight, bitch. You're like,
I
okay,
know. It
I'm
was
going to
like
do
not,
it
yeah, it's like not today, Satan, not today, death.
today.
Kiss my white ass. I'm not going anywhere today.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but I managed to get through, and Kelly had me for 2 nights, and he called Saturday on his vacation. He called this man. I can barely remember what he looks like now. The man called there on his freaking vacation to ask how I was doing, and they're like, "Honey, she's fine. She's sitting up eating fried chicken." you know? And of course, fried chicken. We're here in the South. It's Georgia, people. So yeah. And so I went in on a Sunday. So the next Sunday, they moved me to the cardiac floor so they could keep an eye on me. And
Mhm.
This is really funny because it was like I hadn't really moved my legs, so I was by the bathroom, and I remember calling my husband. I was like, "Honey, honey, I went to the bathroom all by myself." But it was like you haven't moved your legs in for like ever, so I know it's crazy. It's crazy, but so moving forward because we are on a time frame. Um,
You're good. You're
yes.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, what
So
time is it?
Friday,
Yeah.
it's 9:22 here. So Friday was our date night. And unbeknownst to me, he managed to get a VCR. Back in the days, VCR people.
Oh
So we
my
had
god.
but the little units they used to wheel into the classroom that
Yes.
had like TV. Yeah. So he managed to figure out a way for them to wheel one of those into my room. He went and got my favorite steak and cheese sub sandwich from a restaurant, and we had a Drew Barrymore double feature. We had Ever After and The Wedding Singer. So
There you
we had our date night right there in the room. It was the best one
go.
ever.
Oh, that's so
So yeah,
sweet.
it is. And but we've been together for 21 years now, but we do have two kids. The oldest one is 20. We call him the Yeti because he's about 6'5", and he reminds me very much of Noah, height wise, just an FYI. And
No, I'm
he
gonna
wears
start calling you the Yeti.
he's the Yeti.
I love it.
I'm sorry, Noah. I love you so much. But he also wears like a 17 size man's shoe. They're humongous.
Holy, that's
So
a
yeah,
what do you
it's
feel? What do you
yeah.
feel?
I don't know. I was like, well, I swear I didn't give him Miracle Grow as a baby.
Oh,
um,
man.
so and then we also joke. So like I've already talked about my husband. Well, he knew friends of mine that I didn't know. But come to find out, we used to have where our farmland was, like I said, yes, no, yes. Yes, honey. I love that.
Noah's
So
like shaking his head right now. It's
he's
like
like,
these women.
he's
We
like, no.
love you. We love you.
I love you, Noah. I really do. Um, so where our farmland was, I was 4, and my husband's Boy Scout troop came and camped on our land down there, which was crazy. So then later, I volunteered at our local zoo. It was junior, we did junior zookeepers. Well, then we did like this little summer camp one year, and there's his mom teaching the kids how to make dream catchers.
Oh,
Yeah, and so he worked in the mall with another friend. It was so weird about how he knew my friends, and then all of a sudden we connected. And how we connected was I was at the bookstore, Walden Books. Anybody remember that?
yes.
Um, I was talking like Yoda, stranger word. So I was talking like Yoda, and then he turns around and starts talking like Jar Jar Binks, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how
That
my
was
husband.
it. That sealed
That
the
was it.
deal.
Actually, no, it didn't because I really wasn't attracted to him at first, and he called a couple of times, and I didn't really want to talk to him at first. And then when we finally did, it was 2 hours later. And so
Oh, do you remember like the old 90s thing? I mean, like we used to have the longest cord on our phone, and I would like pull that receiver into my room and like close the door just to have an ounce of privacy, and you're like cuddled up to it. You would be on that phone for hours. Like
hours, yes,
you
yes.
youngards don't
I
know the
think
pain we've gone through.
Mhm. I think at that time, I think we did have actually a cordless phone, but I can't remember 100%. But that was we just thought that was interesting, and a couple of folks that I talked to in Noah's Discord, they're like, "Girl, that was like divine intervention. Like y'all were supposed to be together."
Supposed to be
And
together.
even though we have struggled, we've always managed to get through it. And even now, I'm like, okay, let's fix this thing. But so let's see. We're gonna fast forward now to this past December, where I basically had an ulcer eat a hole through my stomach and try to kill me.
Yep.
That was scary again because at first I remember being sick prior to that, and I was throwing up and I couldn't figure out what it was. We thought it was a sinus infection, but we didn't think that's what it was. And
Mhm.
it was kind of crazy. And I was watching, it was like a different telling of, like, I guess, a Christmas story, no, Christmas Carol, some other telling of that. And all of a sudden, something like spooked me, and I jumped. And all of a sudden, I was like, "What the hell is this pain?" And even my arm, I couldn't even like feel my arm.
Yeah.
Parent, it was crazy because I was like, "Why can't I move my arm?" It's like when you've worked out really, really
Yeah.
hard. Sorry, there goes my earbud. Um, it was like I couldn't feel anything. I was like, or it was like I can't move it. I can't do. I was like, "What the heck is going on?" Then all of a sudden, I
Yeah.
felt this uncomfortable pain in my stomach. I was, this is not right. I went to the bathroom thinking, okay, maybe it was something else. I don't know. I unfortunately had woken up my husband. And he gets up in the morning and works. He works from home. So it was like, oh, great. I've woken him up. He's now going to be mad. And I tried to explain to me, he's like, tell me, he was a corpsman. He was a Navy corpsman. So he's like,
Mhm.
talk to me, tell me what's happening. And I'm like,
Happening.
it's like, I can't. It was like my brain could not process. It's kind of like when I had the meningitis.
Hmm.
I remember feeling really hot and everything. And I remember at one point sitting in a bathtub, and I remember a girl from Girl Scouts dying from it. And I had the blotches on my skin with the meningitis, which I didn't touch on earlier. But it was like I remember sitting in that tub thinking, I'm going to freaking die.
No.
Even with, with the meningitis, it was so bad. I couldn't even pull my pants down to go to the bathroom. My husband had to do that for me. It was horrendous. This was a little different, but almost very similar. And I couldn't do certain things. Um, but I do remember going back into the living room. It was about 2:30, and I said, "This pain's not going away." And all of a sudden, that voice says, "You need to go to the ER right now, or you will die." That was what I was told.
Oh my God.
And y'all, I called my 79-year-old grandmother, who I call Mama because she raised me, because she's my mama. Okay. So I called Mom and I said, Mom, I need to go to the hospital like right now. See, my son had to get up and go to work the next morning. And then our daughter, of course, she had to get up. So somebody needed to be at the house. So, so Tom said, he said, I'll stay here. Um, and I'll handle the kids. And so I said, okay. So she took me, she drove with me, and she stayed with me until they could switch out. But I remember this one doctor, he was pushing on the area, and I was just like, I'm about to shoot straight up out of the bed, like, just don't touch me. But I was so grateful for all of the nurses there. I don't know if anybody ever watches A Day Levine on YouTube, but she's a
That sounds
medium.
familiar, but I don't think I've watched. I think somebody has
Well,
told
she,
me
I
about it, but I
okay. Well,
never, I mean, I try to watch on the down low, but I just don't watch as much YouTube. I mean, how is it that I'm on? Because I'm busy, because I'm a
you're
busy
busy.
witch. That's why I'm
That's
busy.
right. So, well, she talked about this one time where she was in the hospital and she was dealing with stuff, and like just show them compassion, show them kindness. Like this one nurse was being yelled at and screamed at, and just. And she comes and talks to Dayla, and she's like, "I'm so sorry." By the way, she's like, "Honey, it's fine." Dayla's like, "It's fine. We understand." She's like, "Thank you so much for being understanding." And I remember, just telling all of them, thank you so much for what you're doing for me. I appreciate you. And I actually had messaged her in there and said, let me tell you something. This is legit real and people need to see this. And I told her, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. But
Mhm.
I'm just telling you, you're absolutely correct. It's just compassion and kindness goes a long damn way. Let's just be real.
And it
Um,
costs you nothing. It
it
costs
costs
you
you nothing.
nothing. You don't have to talk about
Mm-mm.
politics. You don't have to talk about your kids. You don't have to do any of that stuff. But you know
No,
what? It costs
but
you damn nothing to just be respectful to another
yeah.
freaking human being. Cost you
But I
nothing.
just absolutely, but I was so terrified during this time because this time it was like I was more aware. I
Mhm.
think it was different from when I had the meningitis because I was 19. Now I was 40. It's like two different things, but now you're like a little bit more of I can feel this, I can see this. I'm really cognizant of what the hell is happening here.
You're a little more in
Uh,
tune with your body at 40 than you are at,
right.
20 and 30. And
So,
you're like, oh,
yeah,
what's this? Oh, wait
yeah,
a minute. It's like, I know this is wrong. We need we need to do something now.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
absolutely. So I remember putting out something to Trina, and Trina put my face, my picture on there, sending out a thing, and it was
Yep.
almost like not too long after that, you messaged me
Yep.
and you asked me how I was doing. Bex messaged me, and
Yep.
also I was in touch with them.
I love
And
me
there
some Bex.
are,
Bex is a
yes,
sweet tea.
love her. And I'm probably gonna start crying, but there are no words to really truly express how grateful I am because I was terrified. But I will say that y'all helped me because I did not have a single panic attack or an anxiety attack the
Oh,
entire time I was in there. Y'all
good.
helped me so much. And it's just like when I had the meningitis, I remember seeing one of the doctors and he kept telling my family a higher power saved her. And I just kept saying, he saved my life. This doctor saved my life.
Mm,
But I am so grateful for my doctors who worked on me because at first they thought it was my gallbladder and it wasn't.
mhm.
I just remember like trying to come out of the anesthesia and I kept telling my husband, like, why is my gallbladder still here? Why did they just take it out? Like, why did they take it out? And I asked him like a couple times. He says, because it was fine. And I was like, but why did it was like my brain didn't want to process it at all. But it
Yeah.
meant it there really aren't enough words to express my thanks and my gratitude. And it's
You're very
when you
welcome. You're very welcome. I mean, I know that there's a lot of big, big hearts, here in the chat
yeah,
and, also on social media. And, some
and
people come in and then they fade out, but it's just such a blessing just to have them there for that moment. And I know what it felt like to be in that bed. And I mean, I just recently had to go through it again,
right,
and
and
it's lonely. And
it is,
especially if you're
and
any type of medium or witchy, them ghosts are coming for you. I mean, they're coming for you.
luckily
That's what happens to me.
luckily they left me alone. But I
Good.
think it was because of all of y'all, to be honest. But I
We
also
were
wasn't,
throwing stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And
Mhm.
the I think what bothered me the most was the fact I had the tube down my throat again. And when I came up to and had that, it was like going right back to when I was 19 years old
Yep.
and in the hospital again. I had a lot of side effects from the meningitis that I did not expect. I remember 2011 was the first time I had an anxiety attack. I was on my way to work and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is insane. I don't want this.
Yeah.
My depression was getting worse. Um, I had taken Prozac not long after the meningitis. First, they put me on Zoloft, and then I zoned out horrendously bad. And then they put me on Prozac, so it
Been
made me
on
want to snap.
Zoloft. Don't want to do that again.
So,
That sucked.
so in 2000, and it was either 2010 or early part of 2011, I was going home. It was a Wednesday. I was going home, and I remembered thinking, not that I wanted to do this. Please understand, I did not want to do this. It was the thought of doing this. Okay. I wanted to blow my brains out. That was the thought. And then I could taste the gunmetal in my mouth. There was nothing around me. I could taste the metal in my mouth.
Mhm.
I got home. I told my husband what happened. I
Mhm.
immediately threw the Prozac in the trash. The very next day, I called the doctor, said, you're giving me something else right now. And I told
Right
them what
now.
happened. They're like, you can't take this anymore.
Can't take it
That
anymore.
was so scary.
Some of those drugs have these side effects or whatever, and it's supposed to be an antidepressant, and then it's going to give you suicidal
It
thoughts.
is.
You're like, what? I mean, how was this ever going to be helpful for me? You know?
Right. And it's not. And I mean, and I've had, my depressive states. I went through some of the worst depression when my grandfather passed. I miss my papa very much. He was a very stocky man, and seeing him slowly wither was really rough. He was just verge of looking like a Holocaust victim by the time he passed. Um, I will say the Morgan was there because I looked out his window. There was a crow as well as a red cardinal.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, I've got two people here. It's like, she's here and somebody's here to take him. Um, and that was really rough. And I remember after he passed, it was really hard. I had been suspended from my job. We managed to survive off of a tax return. And y'all, it was bad, bad. We're just gonna put it at that. It was really rough. And my day consisted of taking the kids to school, coming home, going to bed, and then getting up to go pick them up. And that was probably my life. It seemed like for about a year
Yeah.
or so.
Just
Um,
on autopilot.
I didn't want to. There'd be days I'm like, oh, when was the last time I showered? When was the last time I brushed my teeth?
Yeah.
I finally had cavities at 37, and I was like, fuck, and all I could think of was, damn, Papa, I'm sorry I let you down. That's my first thought. But it's really bad. And over the years, I've gained weight, and that's even harder for me because I'm like, this is not, I look in the mirror now and I'm like, I feel like I've turned into the people that I didn't want to be. Um,
Oh, sweetheart.
and then it's like you also feel very invisible. You don't feel seen. You don't feel heard. Even growing up, I felt like, will somebody hear me? Listen to me. I have something to say. And I don't like, and it's awful. Nobody wants to feel invisible. Nobody ever wants to feel worthless. And it's like, it was also, again, going back to that time when I was a little kid. It is gut wrenching to think that, I still, at times I have moments that I look at myself and I'm like, yes, I am a very beautiful person. And other times all I see is how I let myself down, how I let myself go, how I didn't do the things that I wanted to do. So
Mhm.
that was, I told Raven that the profile picture she took, that she used, is from one of my social media pages. And I was co-directing a virtual show with a friend during COVID. And it was during that time. I mean, I didn't shower like I should have. I'll be fucking honest. I didn't do the things I should have done.
We all didn't. I mean, I was
It was awful.
drinking and eating damn near everything I shouldn't have been. I wasn't taking my
We
meds.
all
I
were.
was
We
just
really
like, it just
were.
COVID diet went on for a little bit too long. We were all
Absolutely.
doing that. You are not alone. You are not alone.
And at that, and I felt like I was kind of in a really low point. So I remember showering and I used one of my favorite body washes. That's the thing. Enchant your body washes, enchant your soaps, all that stuff. Make yourself feel better and put your glamour magic on it. Do whatever you want to with it. And I just remember coming out, taking care of myself. And that was probably the only selfie I've actually ever really taken to use as a selfie. And then I
Mhm.
just did the black and white filter. I was like, oh, I like that.
You're
But it
like,
was the one,
"Ooh."
oh, right. But it was like in that moment, I was like, I'm real. It's like I'm real, I'm raw, and I'm fucking gorgeous in this moment. And it
Right.
was very intense feeling for me because it's like I haven't felt that way in a long time. Even now, it's like I doubt my talents, I doubt what I can do. I even magically sometimes it's really, really difficult. It's like who wants to listen to me? She ain't nothing, she don't know what she's talking about. But even my practice is, I know, like I said, this is the shit that our brain tells us it's
This
it's
is this
lies.
is this is the shadow. This is the dark shit that comes
Right.
creeping over your shoulder and
It,
whispers in your ear, and somehow we
it's like
believe
go away.
this crap. You're like,
It's like
no,
go away.
yeah,
That's like Taryn S on the House of Witchcraft. She actually did a video about the demon of doubt, and it's the doubt. I'm going to tell you that's a very powerful video. If y'all don't watch her, please go watch her. She's a hoot and a half, by the way. But that particular one really spoke to me. But even
Mhm.
then, it's like I've gone through so much shit. It's processing shit, suffering through financial woes and this and that. And you're like, I can't handle it. It's like you can't handle it anymore. It's like I'm ready for this break. I'm ready for something new, something beautiful, something everything. And it's like even now mentally, my energy has not been for years where I want
Yeah.
it to be. So it's like, how can I even manage to have a normal job? It's just a lot. And then you have to just sit
But
there and
it's
say,
baby steps. Can I offer you some advice? It's baby
"Mhm.
steps. It really,
Oh
really
yeah,
is. I mean, if you don't like your life, you have the right to go and change it. You make your
yeah.
stars. I was drowning in a landlocked Texas,
Oh yeah."
and I stalked the Pacific Northwest, probably 4 or 5 jobs worth where they saw me in my
I
free
think I
time
remember
stalking
that.
this place. I was
Yeah.
on Google Maps, like running through the streets, on Google Maps to get an idea of where I wanted to
Right,
live. I mean, I made it. You manifest it. You witch yourself through it. This is one of those
right.
witching yourself through situations. When
Yeah,
you know you have depression or your depression tendency, you make sure that you have your 5 best friends, your 5 people that are interested in listening to you. Not everybody's going to be available at all times, but
all times,
one of
right.
those 5 is going to be, and you start reaching out.
Somebody.
And
Right.
my 5 people are in this chat right now, and they saved my fucking life. I mean, saved my life.
Yeah, I know that.
That's what you got to do, and it's baby steps. You start doing the things
Yeah.
that make you happy, and that in itself is self-love.
Yeah.
That's a goal to step towards. And then you start finding yourself in a life that you feel like you belong, that you're worthy. I think that you're extremely beautiful and gorgeous person. We've chatted so many different times. This is the first time we've ever face to face,
Yes.
and I can feel your love from so far away.
I'm so glad.
You're a beautiful person. You're a
Oh,
beautiful person, and you've
thank
got a
you.
lot of love to give for not only for your family,
Oh,
but the
honey.
rest of the world. For the
I
rest of the
do.
world.
You know, I'm going to come, I want to touch a little bit on that too. It's when you think about, like with me, of having two people you love that you don't know, you've never seen, you haven't seen in forever. I'm like, life is too goddamn short to have a chip on your shoulder, to treat people differently just because
Yeah.
somebody is, it doesn't matter what religion they are, their culture, their race, none of that matters. You take all of that out of the equation, you have humanity, you have people. That is what it's about. It's compassion, it's love, it's valuing each other. I'm like, I don't know when the hell we stopped doing that, but we need to get back to doing that.
We need to get back to
You
doing that.
know,
We need to
we
get back
really
to doing that.
do. And we have to value each other. And at some point, my whole thing is too, it's like, if it comes between life and death and somebody is there to give you an organ or life-saving blood, are you really going to ask, well, did you vote for so and so, are you this color or this or whatever? It's called no, are you stupid? It's like that
Seriously.
doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Oh, I love you. Hi, Phoenix. Hey, sweetie. I love y'all. I know, Summer. I love you so much, girl. She has helped me through a lot recently too. Oh, look at me cry. Stop.
You got people.
I
You got
know, and I
people.
appreciate it.
You
And
need to
it's
see
like,
that. You need to see
I
that.
know,
And
and
when this repost, you won't see the chat anymore. So it's
I
important for that to
know,
be up on the screen.
I appreciate it. And but life is short, and I realize that it's such an early age. My dad did the research. I have Muskogee Creek in our family.
Mhm.
My great grandmother, my great great grandmother was full blooded Shawnee. Mama says she looked just like the Indian on the Buffalo Nickel. She's like she was not. She jokes. She's like she was not a very attractive woman. But when I, it's so funny. I was like, Ma, stop, Ma.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
Luna's here for you too. Did Luna
Oh,
get
hi
to
there,
say
Dot.
something?
I see you, sweet baby. Such a sweet
She's trying
girl.
to find out what I have for her to eat.
Hey,
That's what she's trying to find
I
out.
there's I don't really know what is at our house for you to eat, but you can come for a visit. um, but even and that's something else too. Just because I don't look like I don't have indigenous stuff, it doesn't mean it's not there. And let me tell you, they speak, they're loud. They're loud. And so I did not realize. So where our farmland was, we lived right on the Chickasaw-Hatchie Creek, and it was where a creek battle with the Creek Indians and the settlers happened. You got to understand, this land was like humming,
Oh
and
boy.
it was, oh yeah, and it was one of those things I never connected the dots till later. It's one of those things
Mhm.
you move away and you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. It's like you would hear. It's like every now and then I would like, have you ever heard of stickball? Creek Indians play stickball. This is a really
Yeah.
loud game, and it can be, you can
Yeah.
get concussions.
Yeah.
So occasionally it was like you would almost hear them play, like you'd hear them doing their little high pitched hollers and stuff, like, all right, like, but you're thinking, okay, this is probably something. I'm like, they're not that close. Your neighbors are like 2 miles down the road. Um, occasionally you would hear something that would almost sound like the death wail of like,
Oh yes.
and I'd be
Mhm.
like, what the hell is that? But it would just be some of those like little random things. Like you're like,
Mhm.
oh, well, that's just, and you're little, so you're not really, connecting it. You're like, oh, okay. And now that I look back, I realize, oh, there was a lot. Well, we have since sold the land. And of course, when we went down there, I could feel a shift. And then I started thinking, I think back to science class,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
science. Right. And you remember plate tectonics and how things shift and move?
Yeah.
And I started realizing, I said, you know what? When you think about where water is and your land moves, it's probably shifting some things. And also, so you think if when you got your quartz, like your quartz and your limestone and how that. So I'm starting to think, okay, it's probably shifted the spirits. It's probably shifted some things also. So, but then I also remembered, so not only that, but then I started thinking, I've shifted because I'm older.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah. So,
distinction.
yes. So then it's like, okay, I'm older. I can still recognize this. I can still sense the energies. I can still do some of that. Um, so yeah. So, um, but okay, what time? Okay,
We're doing
trying to
okay. We're doing okay.
okay.
I'm over here messaging
Yeah.
Bear that I think Luna has to go potty.
Oh, okay. But I was not. It was 98 when I started my journey of becoming a witch. I had a friend give me True Magic: A Beginner's Guide by Amber Kay. And it had this
Okay.
gorgeous green cover, and it had like a silhouette of a woman with her arms up towards the moon. It had like a wreath of flowers around it. I wish I still had that copy. I do not, but
Um,
but she gave me this copy, and I remember sitting in my room thinking, okay, if this is wrong, please let me know. Somebody just gave me a sign, and all of a sudden there was like this nice little breeze in my room. I had these peacock feathers that started moving. I said, okay, is this really legit real, or is it my vent going on the floor? So I ran over to the vent, and it was not on. So nothing was moving.
uh-huh.
So that was my first. So
That
that
was
was
your first situation.
that was
Yeah.
my first situation. But it wasn't until after I had meningitis. Oh, so when we were in high school, Summer can also vouch for this. We had like witch hunters come to the school. They were passing out pamphlets of like what not to do. This is bad. That's bad. Da 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 da. Well, apparently at one point, they came to my house and bad. But basically, I told them I wanted to try to find, a path that was very similar to Native Americans. This is when I knew I was looking at evil when they had the
Hmm.
balls to say that their beliefs were wrong, and I'm like,
Hmm.
no. I was like,
Hmm.
after that, I was like, I don't want them in my. It was like, as soon as they got out of there, I was happy because I didn't want to see them. But it was just
Right.
like, no, we don't do that. I don't want to go into all of that story because it's just, it's
It's
just, yeah, it's
are
just.
you ready for questions? We're at
I'm
that
open
time.
for any questions. So anybody who's got anything, I'm sitting here looking. I was looking at my notes because I made
You're looking
notes.
at your notes. Okay, so
So,
if there's anybody in the chat that has a question for Alondra or myself, please do so. Put it in the chat. We can see it if it's in bold. Sometimes it's helpful for us to go back and find it when we're scrolling, because sometimes they come a little
mhm,
fast. That's the thing. So if you have any
yeah,
questions, then you're welcome to answer or ask at this
sure.
time, and we'll do our very best. Oh, here we go. Here we
Okay.
go. Here's one.
Yes, yes, she is. And it wasn't till I connected the dots in 2006. I have a very dear friend who is an artist. And I realized somehow or other she came to me when I was fighting with the meningitis. And one of the symbols of the Morgan that I also found out later is the triskel, or the triple
Mhm,
spiral. hmm
mhm,
One of the meaning is life, death, and rebirth.
mhm,
hmm
mhm,
So I was like so drawn to that. It's actually on my keychain. I have it on my
mhm,
keychain. And but yes, she is. And my relationship, of course, with her is a lot different than most. And she's very, how do I explain this? Depends on what mood she's in according to what color her hair is. So if she's
oh,
like really trying to give me some tough love, we're like really fiery. When it's like we're kind of in between, it's kind of like a mixture of the two, like
mhm,
fiery red and black. But when she's kind of
mhm,
calm and being that mama mode, it's black.
oh,
So
oh,
so it's kind of like that. It's and then there are times I feel like she's just sort of like, okay, I'm gonna just let you deal with shit on your own. And not in a bad way. It's just like I'm gonna step back for a little while. You've got some things you need to deal with, but when I'm here, I'm gonna let you know it. And
I'm gonna let you know it.
she does. And but she is.
Another one from Little
Um
Cosmic Crow.
I
Hey,
love
baby, how you doing?
Hey honey, I love you. I love her so much.
She's sweet.
Um Usually on Samhain, we usually we'll cook some fun food. I'll make like a jack o' lantern pizza. um,
Jack o'
and
lantern pizza. I want to hear what that is.
Okay, all you do is just get like a pizza crust and you decorate it with what is it? Shoot, pepperoni and make it look like the jack-o'-lantern face.
Oh, how cute.
We'll
That's
do that.
cute.
Yeah, and I mean, usually what we'll do is we'll watch the fun movies like Hocus Pocus and all that, and we'll go buy our own candy because why not? We have all yes, yes,
Focus, focus. It's got to focus.
yes. Another glorious morning makes me sick.
Makes
Anyway,
me
sick. There are days I do feel like that. But, and then like last year, I actually made an apple crisp, which I actually tend to do again. And I used the vegetable peeler to actually peel the apples. And while I'm peeling the apples, it's releasing, what it no longer serves me, please remove if it's meant to, bring
Ooh.
me goodwill while I'm doing that. And then I also focus on
Kitchen
that.
witching. Kitchen witching.
That's
Mm-hmm.
usually what I do because I'm going to tell you, I've been a witch for 23 years. I have yet to have a sacred space. But believe me when I tell you, everything is screaming at me like, get it now. But like, do this now. But I mean, most of mine's happened at the kitchen counter, the coffee table, the dining room table. That's where it's happened. But
Your
usually
sacred space is all around you. Your
that's
sacred space is
true.
where you're at. You know
Yeah,
why? Because you're sacred.
true. That's true. But right now it's a little cluttered and my brain is like, no, we have to fix.
Notice that you're only seeing this part of the witchy room because some of the people
It's
that were here
not.
for meet and greet have been in this witchy room and they saw it
Okay.
pre meet and greet and it was like stacked. Like I still got some stuff. I I need to do some little cleaning.
No,
I need to do
so
some
right.
organizational stuff.
Tech,
For
technically,
sure.
this is not a witchy room. I just bought this behind there just for this. Legit, really. This is.
I love it. I told her, I said, you got the background, you came in, no problem. You got the light, you're ready for your own YouTube channel. Get it, girl.
I
Get
know
it.
it's called incognito. No.
Oh
So,
gosh,
but
I
no,
love it.
my husband will use this space for work and stuff. Actually, we call this the room of requirement because it's storage, it's this, it's that, it's whatever.
Harry Potter references. I love
Yes,
it. The room of
yes,
requirement.
the room of requirements. It is what it needs to be in that moment.
Oh my gosh. Look,
Um,
everybody wants you to start a channel. Everybody's like, start it.
what?
Do
Oh my
the
gosh.
thing.
Okay, well, here is the thing. I have considered that and or a podcast. But I'm giving myself some time because you practice what you preach, and I want to do some more witchy research only for my own personal, reasons
Mhm.
because I want to be able to be like, what can I give you? What can I teach? Oh, well, honey, you and I can talk later on Facebook. You know it. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Okay, so one of the things is also I was thinking about it. So my name. So somebody's probably going to ask, how did I get my name? So I have been this. I girl, we could totally chat later. I love you.
Maybe you guys
um,
could do a collaboration channel.
I have actually thought. Now, I will say this: if I do a podcast, you have to, or whatever, you are going to have to come on every so often. So you're just going
Yeah,
to have to. Okay, cool.
I'm down to visit channels. I'm just not going to be making any more content on my
That's
own
okay.
channel after
That's
you.
okay. You can come. You can come visit with me.
You can come
So
and do travel stuff over there at the other channel. I got too much stuff I'm
and
doing.
I'm hoping to try. I would really like to travel more soon too. It's like there's something saying, "Girl, you got to travel." And whether I stay in where we're at now or not in this town, but I do know I'm ready to move out of this house. So we'll see what happens there. But my name came to me when I worked at Walden Books.
Mhm.
We used to have to scan books and send them back. Although, y'all, this was so terrible. So we would scan paperback books and we would rip off the cover that had the ISBN number.
Oh,
I know. She knows where I'm going with this because it was terrible. So wait. So we would keep those little cover pages. The rest would go in the garbage, y'all. That would kill me every time. I kid you not. See, I can say this now because they're gone out of business. So that's the only reason I'm
it
saying
feels like book, like desiccation. Like that's
I
so
know.
disrespectful. Like I
I
just,
know. You do not have to explain it because
uh,
I hated it. I hated it. When I think about all the books that were thrown in the garbage.
Walden books. No wonder you went down.
Right. So anyway, I remember scanning the books, and then there was this one that said Nightingale's Lament, and Nightingale just like sort of hit me like right here, and I was like, "What the hell is
Mhm.
that?" Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're scanning, and this book was called Elantris. I think Atlantis with an E.
Mhm.
And
Ooh.
as soon as I read it, it was Elandra, and then Elandra Nightingale, like boom, and it was just
Um,
like just something just coming. I was like, "What the heck is this?" Like, okay, this is weird,
I wish
but
I had some wonderful moment when I became, Ravenflower. I was like, I got this tattoo on my arm. I like the name Raven. I got this
well, you know
got
what?
this raven bird, and then I got
But
flowers
it
on the
comes.
side. I'm a gardener.
I
I
don't
guess
think
that
it has
works.
to. It comes to us when we're supposed to have it, and that's what
Yeah.
I think. But to me, it was just like this was just really weird, and it's like, but I could feel it, and I was like, but the fact that all of a sudden it was Alondra and the Nightingale, I was like, that's weird, but okay, we're going to fly with that. But
Mhm.
Alondra, I am a Pisces, if anybody was curious. So
What's up with the Pisces in my life? Y'all are coming for me with your fishy flap tail. You're coming. Yeah, I get
we're just,
tail whapped
we're
every
just,
now and again by these Pisces.
we're just loving mermaids. We're mermaids. We sing our siren songs because we love you and
I
sing.
love
So
it.
there you
I
go.
love
So, but Alondra is actually, it means home by the sea. That was when I looked it up. That was, I said, well, if that wasn't fitting. And I did a little research with the Nightingale. So it can be beauty, melody, darkness, mysticism, but also in the Celtic culture, it said protection, joy, and harmony. So in so many ways, I felt like, oh, if that doesn't fit, I don't know what.
that.
I didn't know. I
That's
didn't know
amazing. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
So, but yeah, Morgan made her, like I said, Morgan made herself known when she was supposed to, and yeah, she loves her whiskey. Um, I will say something else that I will use is it's cheap as heck. Arbor Mist, Blackberry Merlot, that's some good stuff.
Hmm.
She kind of likes that too.
I like
The
that. You know
answer,
what? I get to a point, I've got 3 working altars right now, and then Bear's got a couple of his own, but,
yeah,
my deities, they get persnickety, and I, like, pour out, thinking I'm like, "Okay, I got the whiskey bottle or vodka or, whatever it is I'm using that I felt called to give
right.
at that time," and then they'll stop me, and they're like, "No, I would like a da 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 da," and I'm just like, "What am I, a fucking bartender here?" And I'm like, "Seriously, I'm making mixed drinks and little tiny deals for all of them. They all
Right?
want something different
Oh
today."
my
And
God,
I'm like,
yes.
okay. I'm just,
And then
okay.
that's something else, like what offering do I give this one? And what I was like, honestly, most of them
You'll
just want
know.
your time. They just want your time. That's it. If you
And
can't give,
you'll know. They'll make it very clear.
yeah,
Like, Submet is not
yeah,
playing. She will tell me if she don't want it.
yeah.
And she'll
But no,
also let me know if she wants a little bit of blood. So, I mean, yep.
mm,
Oh,
okay.
y'all thought I was a nice witch.
That's like okay.
Well,
So y'all understand something about me because Raven and I already talked about this. I'm as nice as they come. You piss me off, I am there. You fuck with me in mine, I turn into Maleficent, and I will unleash all the powers of hell on your butt.
damn straight.
So I will tap in
Damn
those.
straight.
I will go into that if I have to. I haven't really had to yet, but don't just don't make me go there. I don't like me. It's like, what is it? You won't like me when I'm angry. Yeah, let's not.
No. When I'm angry, it's interesting because my kids have said this and other people that I've worked with that have said this, and all of a sudden it starts coming off of me like this, like, I don't know, it's not a smoke, but it's definitely, you can feel the energy
Oh
just
yeah,
sort of flow off of me and I get real quiet. And y'all should run. I mean, Bear says I'm only Puerto Rican when I'm mad.
you know, there
So
was there was Bobby the Yeti, my son. He was really small, and he says, "Mama," he says, "when you're angry, you're worse than the Hulk." And I was like, "I
oh,
think I'll take that." I said, "I'll take."
that's good. You're like, respect.
It's like
Respect.
I'm. He's such a great son. I love him to pieces, and he's so great with his little sister. And I'm so blessed that he's. No,
Oh,
I'm
well,
really no, no. No, I'm so blessed he's my kid because
That was
when his
cracking me up in the chat.
no stop. Yes. I actually understand that reference because the person who got me onto to my path, she was huge into anime and we had to watch a lot of Super Bowl. However, I did not like having to read subtitles. And unfortunately, we watched it so much. I'm like, I just don't care.
Oh my
But
gosh. Oh
but
my gosh.
but after his sister, after we had my daughter, there would be days he'd be like, "Mama, you're really tired. Why don't you go to bed and I'll put her to bed for you." Or why don't you give me the baby monitor and I'll get up with
Oh,
Ladybug in the morning. And I mean, y'all, he would fix her food, change her head to toe.
sweet brother.
He's amazing. He's
Oh,
amazing. And I remembered after I had the surgery, I was like, I need to call him. And I called him and I said, honey, I'm okay. He says, I'm glad you called me, Mama. He says, I was so worried. And he was at work and there was nothing he could do. So going to work, he's a good kid. He's 20. He's a good kid.
it's 20. No, they're all going to be our babies. I mean, they're all. I mean,
Yeah.
our oldest is
Yeah.
25 now.
Yeah.
25 and a half. Ugh. And I'm just
Well,
thinking, I'm just like, I was already a mom at age 25. What y'all doing? And I'm like, wait a minute, wait, don't have
wait,
no
what?
babies yet. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I just remembered I turned 21 while pregnant, and so my husband's like, I can't take you get your shit face. I said, what if I don't want to be shit faced? So we joke about that. But now he's like, our marriage is, legal to drink now. It's like, oh, okay, well that explains
Explains a lot.
explains so
So
much.
I
So
got an appointment that I've got to jump
yes,
on another call for work. Yay.
okay, it's okay. I know.
Not yay.
Yeah.
I'm like, not yay. Anyhow, so if there's any other clarifying questions that anybody wants to ask, now is your time. Put it in the chat.
I don't know.
Ask her stuff.
Mm-hmm. Ask me now.
Ask them and now or forever hold your pieces.
That's right. Or they can
And
always
that's
message.
it.
So the ones that are on here, if we're friends somewhere else, they can message me there. We can always
Absolutely.
chat that way.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm deeply honored that you asked me to be on, and I'm glad I could talk a
I'm
little
deeply
bit.
honored that you came on, and I thank you very
Yeah,
much for sharing your story.
okay.
I mean, and again, you're an incredible person. I mean, I don't just message anybody. I'm
I
tired.
know.
I'm tired. And I mean,
That's
sometimes I'm just like,
like,
I'll get the random like, hi. And I'm just like,
hi.
oh, here we go. We're going to do this again. It's just like, hi. Like, and then you ask and then you get a dick pic. You're like, okay, and I'm done.
You're like, I'm finished with that.
And I'm and
Yeah.
I'm finished. Oh, ooh, we got some stuff. We got one
Okay.
more question here.
Okay.
Oh, we got two. No. We got one.
Oh, Draven. A dream show to perform. There's so many. I honestly have no clue. There's just so many I love. I mean, really, I don't have that just one role, I want to do them all.
Wanna
But I
do
haven't
the poll?
I want to do them all. I haven't had the opportunity yet to like shine just yet, but I'm going to get there. So I'm open. I'm open.
I'd love to be the mom in Mamma Mia. I think that would just
Oh, we just did that.
I know you did. I know you did. I would love to
I
do
was
that.
in
I
the,
was I was Rizzo in Greece and then decided to
oh,
play
see,
that
I
out
was
in real life.
there.
And
Oh,
then
no.
yeah.
Now, that was fun because there's this part in the play where she's like having this Sophie's having this nightmare, so we were all dressed in black, and so I'm squatting down behind the bed. And I'm like, damn, I feel like Gollum's. I was like, but I'm 41 and I don't move like that. Like, I don't squat like that no more, people. But let me tell you, we got whipped into shape. It was great. But the casting was perfect, and honestly, I was happy to be in an ensemble really because I got to sing more. I didn't have to worry about lines. I got to dance my patootie off, and I loved it. It was fun.
I'm so proud of you for doing it because you wanted to do it. I'm like, go for it, get it.
I
And you
mean,
did, and look at you.
it's like, yes, there was a role I really would have loved to have had, but the person who did get, I mean, phenomenal. I mean, couldn't really hold a candle to her anyway, but she was great. But honestly, I'm like, I needed the challenge, and the dancing was where I needed the challenge, and I love to dance, and I took it for 13 years. So
There you
Once you're
go.
a I say once you're a dancer, you're always a dancer. It just never really leaves you, even if we're just a little fluffy.
You know, we
Right.
could be fluffy and
You
still
know, and
dance,
that was,
you know.
and even say that was something else. It's like, what's a good word for us? Bigger ladies. I said we are voluptuous, we
We're
are
voluptuous.
goddesses, and we're gorgeous.
We
So
are. Okay, y'all. Okay,
okay,
Noah, my brother from another mother. The
okay,
fact that you have not seen several movies is just it weighs heavy on my heart, my
okay.
loved
You know
one.
what? We're gonna have to do this at some point. I'm gonna have to come out, and I'm gonna have to see Raven. And when I come to see Raven, Noah, you're just gonna have to come up, and we're just gonna have to just give you movies. We're just gonna have to make you watch movies,
I
my
feel
friend.
like I need to rent a movie theater and just do like a 24-hour
Oh,
movie screening for all of the things that he needs to see. Sometimes I'm just
wait. This is
shaking
the
my
true.
head.
Wait, before you go, this is a true test. Noah, have you seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
He did because I made
Okay,
him sit down and watch
good.
it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
So if
and
I,
so now he
so
sends me little clips. I'm
okay,
like,
good.
now you know.
Reminds
You
me at
gotta
some
know.
point, and like the three of us can do this together, and I'll do my Columbia for you.
Ooh.
I can do her voice a little too well. So we will do that. We will have
Nice.
to plan that. So we will have to plan this for another time. So,
I love it.
but
We were talking about
yes,
doing the time warp at Witchy Meet and Greet. The
let's
next one or whatever to just do the time
yes,
warp, but just to have fun or
let's
whatever,
go
because
there.
it'd be so cool. It'd be so
I'm
cool.
hoping I'm hoping if we can work it out, I can be there in New Orleans. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Oh,
crossed.
you're gonna come to New
That
Orleans. That's
I'm just
2023.
fingers crossed. I'm going to do my best to try to. That's what I would really like to do because with my birthday is February 27th, so it'd be really like close to that time. So it would be really
That would
nice.
be excellent. That would be
I think
excellent.
yes.
So cool. Was
So
it
I
at
know
New
you have
Orleans?
to. Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I have to
Wait.
go and I don't want to. I've got a couple of minutes left or whatever. So I'm gonna love and leave you and let you
Okay. All
go.
right.
Thank you so
Thank
much. I
you.
love
I love
you.
you. All
And
right.
we'll try this again at some other point. And if you have ghost stories for me, I got a couple more spots left.
Actually, I do have a couple.
Well, then
So
let's message because towards
do
the end of
that.
October, I need to
Yes.
put some people. I need to
There's not
sprinkle some
very
more people
many,
up in
but
there.
there's a couple there. But
It's
yes.
just little 30-minute
Oh
sessions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. Totally have time. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
I love you, sweetheart. All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Well, that was Elandra, and thank you very much for coming on and allowing her this wonderful space. This is her YouTube debut. I think that she needs to start a YouTube channel. I think that would be really, really good. That would be really good. Tomorrow starts Truth Talk Ghost Story Editions. I have 31 stories. I've got some pre recorded, I've got some mainly they're going to be live on here, but tomorrow starts my story and I'm going to talk to you about Edgefield. It's a McMinimans property and the ghost that decided uh, he wanted to spoon. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So I'm going to see you every day for 31 days. I hope that you guys will join me. I hope you'll come along. For those of you that are interested in buttons or bag from Meet and Greet, I have some still available if you want some, and I can give you a discounted price on that. In fact, I have them right here, and I'll show you what they look like. Let me just grab them quick. Okay. Meet and greet bag. Nice big canvas bag that Feather and Fox has done. Oh, these originally sold for $16, and for a donation to CADA, we have a really awesome organization here on the island called CADA. It's Citizens Against Domestic Abuse, Domestic and Sexual Abuse. And we also have little buttons. These are only $2, and the bag can be discounted to 15 if you're needing those. And I also have a link if you want. But if you're interested in this, you would need to private message me or email me at Ravenflower West, and we can get you all set up with that if you're after that. So without further ado, I don't want to be late for my work chat. I will let you guys go, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good day. Bye. Love you.